visits, who does that? So not as many. How about every 12 visits? Okay, more. Okay. And how about every 14 to 15 or more? Okay, nobody. Good. Usually the reason why we're doing the re-exams, why do we do the re-exams? What's the purpose of the re-exams? Someone shout out or just raise their hand. Go ahead, Tria. Reconnect, right? So she hit the first point, I believe, on there, on re-exams. If you look up on top here, the uplift the value of the re-exams as a connecting tool for your patient relationships and lifetime care. So thanks everybody for coming in. I appreciate you coming in. I just started on time because this is like we don't have a lot of minutes in this.
Because early is on time.
You know, early is on time. That's right. So why else would we do? What are the goals? What are the goals that you have when we are doing? Now the goal of this workshop is the same as your re-exam. Why? You said to reconnect, right? Why is that the same of this workshop?
To reconnect?
To reconnect, you wise ass, you. So the thing, he recorded that. So the objective is to make sure that you guys are reconnecting with the why of why you're doing re-exams. I mean, because there are people here. So why do them 8 to 10 visits in as opposed to 12 visits? Why do it that way? Go ahead.
I believe it's been shown that people that are getting reevaluated every 8 to 10 visits are stronger patients than those who extend further out. Because around that period of time is when usually people want to start asking, well, when am I cutting down? When do I...
Right.
When do you see me less? When do I come less? When do I whatever?
So it sort of reinforces or strengthens their understanding of what's going on.
Right.
So having said that, the objective of this workshop is to practice the re-exam tests. I don't know how we're going to do that with the amount of time we have, but we're going to give you sort of an opportunity to see what's done and then sort of practice one of the lines going in between. But looking for how that test fuels patients' progress and care. And just like Jet said, what it is it's making sure that they understand that it's not just about getting out of discomfort, because really, honestly, Dr. Kathy and I were just talking about it. I had a woman come in, she's been with me for 6 months and was starting to question why she was continuing coming. And, she goes, my back pain went away in a week. I mean, that's why she came in. Okay, isn't that the case in most situations? Their pain is gone. So the objective behind the re-exams is to show them, let them see, let them feel, and let them hear how their body is healing and what the process is that's going on. Okay, so that's the key. So Kathy, if you want to come on up here, I believe that we were going to go over this. The order of the re-exams on the day of the re-exam. So Kathy, you said that this is pretty much the order that you use?
Yeah, this is the slide that I helped Dr. Jen create. This is the order in our office. So I know some of us are working in offices with no tech CAs and the doctor's doing everything. This is a model of the way we do it in our office, and you can adapt it to yours. So, there's paperwork and there's technical points about how this front desk CA knows it's re-exam, but our patient is given a progress evaluation to fill out. They are in your TLC, they're in the manual, you can print them out. We tell them this is to see how well we're educating you, we're not testing you. It takes them a few minutes to fill that out. And of course, before this, we've told them they're going to have their re-exam. It's a very short process in our office. In my office, the tech CA then comes to the adjustatorium area, takes the new patient into the exam room, like our day 1 room, and does part of the exam. And I'm going to tell you what she does, because in a minute you're going to see what I do. So our tech CA then will do cervical range of motion, lumbar range of motion, bilateral weight scales, and posture. It can't be more than 5 minutes.
Right.
It's easy, they don't talk a lot, they don't explain to the patient if they're better or worse. Dr. Kathy will go over all of this on your next visit. This is to gauge how well you're healing, not how you're feeling. Stick with what works. Then they'll bring them up front. When it's their turn, now this is in flow, then I'm going to finish my part of the exam. So it hardly feels like a different visit than any other day to them.
Right. And can I add just something to
yeah.
that? So who does re-exams in flow? Okay. So about a good half of you do at least. how long should it really take to do a re-exam?
5 minutes.
Maybe 5 minutes, 3 minutes, you said? Okay, so has anybody ever had a patient come in and said, oh, I don't have time for this today?
All the time.
Oh, what a load of crock. Okay, I mean, it's so not realistic. I don't have time. Are you going to fix that for us? Thank you. So the thing is, what Kathy is talking about is so important to understand that you are still adjusting while they are doing the precursor work that you don't have to do. And if you don't have a tech CA, continue to train this way, because this way you'll get them used to it. In my office, sometimes what happens is the people that don't have the time, they'll come in, they'll lay down. My tech CA is right there, and I'll start calling off the findings to her, do the exam, and I'll say, hey, that exam that you didn't have time for, it's done. Okay, and then I go, if you have a second, we'll take your picture, we'll be done, you can fill out the paperwork the next time you come in. Okay, and then I say, and they grade the paperwork right there in front of them, and I still can access it. Okay, obviously to train them, you want them to do it first, but there are periodically times that happens. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Then I do the adjustment, so I'm with them the whole time, I don't go to another patient, finish the re-exam, right to the adjustment, so they hardly even know that it happened. Yes, you're gonna see.
Cassie, I have a question because I feel sometimes uncomfortable doing the exam inflow because there are other patients right there waiting to be adjusted on the hot seats, and I don't want to ask them about some of the questions that I go through the different things, and at the end is how are you feeling?
Okay, so I don't ask that ever.
Where is that done?
Nowhere.
Never ask them that.
At the re-report, I'll
But
go
I
over
mean,
their
for
findings, their
insurance purposes,
engagement.
you have to keep track of that. So
I think we pretty much, or they've told my tech CA, my neck is still bothering. I never ask them
Right.
how they feel.
So you're talking about the subjective findings?
Yes.
Okay, so in our office, if any of that is ever asked, my tech CA will update it in the back. It's never done out in front of other people.
right.
It's done, so when she takes them back there, because I'll do the exam and I'll do all the information first, and then she takes them out back just much like this, okay? She'll go back there first, and if there's anything that they wanna add, or if there's any subjective, my tech CA asks that question. And then when I get all the information, I review it and I address it when I do the re-report.
I mean, often a person who they'll tell the tech CA, this still hurts or this doesn't, so
Right.
they'll mark that down. But I don't ask them anything. You'll see, I don't ask them anything about the re-exam. At their report, which is also in flow, I always say, what changes have you noticed? I want to find the positive. I want to see how they're feeling better. But I would do that in private, but if that's something you have to do, I would separate that out from the main part of the re-exam, because you want to get that idea of in flow. Thinking that a re-exam is going to take an hour it's a medical model, right? It's like, I have a medical doctor for all these tests, or maybe they're thinking of their first visit. You need to switch the paradigm. What re-exam means in a chiropractic office is, I fill out this questionnaire, they check everything, I get adjusted, and I get my report next time. It works, so. Sam, can we go to the next?
Yep. Sorry. We're just trying to get the volume. So now, we're supposed to play this thing? Is this it?
Well, I think you have to go to the next slide. I don't know if that's the actual video. So that's the
Oh, I know this person.
patient on the table.
Let me see.
I know this office.
This was Jackie.
Oh, it's my
Here you go.
office.
Good morning, Sammy. Good to see you.
Can you stop it for a second?
Your 10th visit, and I know you just filled out your progress.
Okay, so my CA has already gone in the exam room and done her part. The patient's filled out the questionnaire, done the part with all the, the cervical, all the technical findings that you might need, and now she's in flow. It's her turn. I mean, I did this, I didn't do this in real time. I did the video for this class. But she would lay down on the table, and if I didn't even remember, my tech CA standing there, Dr. Kathy, it's Sammy's re-exam right now. So now I'm gonna go right to it. There could be other people laying on the table, the chair's filled, it's okay. And we're talking about her.
Wait a minute.
You gotta go back, 'cause that's
Yeah.
Dr. Jen. Right. And celebrate consistency. We're talking about her consistency of care
Good
right
morning,
now.
Sammy. Good to see you. So Sammy, today's your 10th visit, and I know you just filled out your progress evaluation to see if we've been educating you well or not, and you've been in the other room with Maria, and she's gone over the beginning of your re-exam with you. I'm going to be finishing that re-exam right here. I'm going to be pulling off my findings to Maria, and then we'll go ahead and give you an adjustment. The purpose of the exam is to see how well you're doing clinically. We know how well you're feeling, we know that you're feeling better, and we want to see how well your body's feeling, comparing that to the first time that you came in, okay? But before I start, I just want to tell you that I'm very, very proud of you. You have kept all your visits, you've been on time, you've been really engaged in the work, which is great. And we know that no matter what, your body's already better because you've had your 10 visits. Your nervous system is working better than it did when you first came in. Your consistency is everything, and you've been doing great on that front. So we're gonna go ahead with the re-exam. Right.
So, what did, like, you were asking, Doc, about, can you turn the lights back on for a second? You were asking about what you address. Well, what's the first thing that is supposed to be addressed? What are the things that we should be addressing? 15, thank you. Excuse me? The positive, the
Well-
things that, huh? Go ahead.
Well, their schedule,
Right,
their
so the
finance,
workshops, have
their
they been
workshops.
attending workshops?
Have they been reading things you're giving them?
Right, go ahead. So have you been reading things?
Engagement.
Huh?
Their
see,
engagement.
But let me say this is the re-exam, I'm not really gonna address those steps till
No.
I do the re-report, but I wanna lock it in, and Dr. Jen asked me to talk about consistency, it's a very big theme right now, and so I wanted to set her up to know that she was already doing better because she was so consistent. And
Right.
that's why I took that extra minute, to do that with her.
Right,
To
and
connect-
that's-
to
and that-
connect, really. to
Yeah,
connect.
and that's the connection points. It's like, hey, you know, Sammy, if you heard her, she said, you've been really consistent with your appointments, you've been coming in, and she went through all of those points that we were. And then when they come in for their re-report, you now reiterate it to them right there, and you strengthen that resolve. So you're saying it to them twice. So it just sort of allows that to happen. So, go ahead,
And the
Kathy.
re-exam's the shortest of the whole thing, now I'm gonna do the re-exam, my tech CA's over here taking notes.
Yeah, and that's, I think, this picture. I think this is.
No, go back, the video's not over. 'cause-
Then the video's not over? Oh, joy. It means I have to start it over again.
Good morning, Sammy.
Yeah, I don't.
Good to see you. So Sammy, today's your 10th visit, and I know you just filled out your progress evaluation to see if we've been educating you well or not, and you've been in the other room with Maria, and she's gone over the beginning of your re-exam with you. I'm going to be finishing that re-exam right here. I'm going to be calling off my findings to Maria, and then we'll go ahead and give you an adjustment. The purpose of the exam is to see how well you're doing clinically. We know how well you're feeling, we know that you're feeling better, but we want to see how well your body's feeling, comparing that to the first time that you came in, okay? But before I start, I just want to tell you that I'm very, very proud of you. You have kept all your visits, you've been on time, you've been really engaged in the work, which is great. And we know that no matter what, your body's already better because you've had your 10 visits. Your nervous system is working better than it did when you first came in. Your consistency is everything, and you've been doing great on that front. So we're gonna go ahead and do re-exam now. Maria, Sammy has a short right leg, 1/2 inch. Sammy, turn your head to the right for me, please. And now to the left. And back to the center. And she has a left cervical syndrome. Relax your knees, Sammy. Sammy, I'm gonna press down here on your sacrum, keeping this knee straight. Raise your leg for me. Good. And down, and right leg up, and down. Sacrum on the right, Maria. L5, right, L4, right. T11, T12, T5, T6, T1. C1 on the right, occiput, and C5. Sammy, one more time, head to the right, and left, and back to the right. Okay, Sammy, we're gonna go ahead and adjust you now.
And then she looked at the camera.
I did, well, I wanted her to stop. So, before it's fast, and then they get adjusted, okay? That's what I do, but Sam and I were talking, and I wanted to say that I am the poster child for someone who never, ever, ever did re-exams for 20, 25 years. No one told us to do re-exams in 1983. So I did not do them, and I am diversified, SOT, I have a lot of tools that I use, and I'm not necessarily needing my technique to give me all these clinical findings every 10 visits. But what I learned from TLC was the whole point for me is to reconnect with my patient and let them know that I care. They want you, they just want you so bad. They want your attention, they want to know that they're doing better. And this allows them to do that, okay? So my main purpose is to reconnect. I know what her short leg is. I see it 3 times a week. I know her muscle tone. I know her findings. I know them in my sleep. And in the end, and the next class, probably next time, will be how to do the re-report, which is beautiful because the whole finding part about the leg and this is the end of what you do. The beginning is your consistency, your workshops, your healing. It's you give them hope and you let them know they care. They want you and they want more of you, and this gives them an extra 2 minutes with you. Re-exams are beautiful and they are easy and fun.
Yeah,
That's my experience.
Yeah, and I've been doing re-exams every 12 visits for years. Ever since I opened my office, and going to every 10 visits made a huge difference. But I want to ask all of you, what did you hear from Kathy? Is the re-exam for you or is it for them? It's for them. Okay, so get out of your way. Okay, just do them. Okay, that's the big thing. It is for them. Okay, and it is also for your staff, because your staff now understands what you are doing. Okay, and they become more involved in the process because your staff needs to see what you're doing. Go ahead.
I don't have a staff, I have a team.
Your team. All right, so these, I think the next one
First
is
law
a
of six
picture. Is
senses.
that Jen? Is that you?
Dr. Jen.
Yeah, Dr. Jen, that's you.
We're easily, when my hair was short.
And that's
Just
Dr.
another
Kathy,
picture.
and that's where,
Inflow.
yeah, and that's with the CA there, standing there. So so the next slide, basically, what are you looking for? You know, your technique, I'm not gonna go over this too much because I want you guys to just do like 5 minutes of just talking to each other and practicing. This is you. What is your technique? Doesn't matter what the techniques are. Dr. Kathy did it her way. Okay, if you're a CBP guy, you're gonna check the posture part of it and look at whatever the, you know, the 3-dimensional lineups are, but, you know, telling that to a patient is gonna make, you gotta actually use it in their terms, you know, right rotation, you know, whatever it may be. So really, it's up to you guys, you know, to determine what it is specifically you're gonna check for each exam, okay? The purpose, this is what we've been talking about. Pretty straightforward. And it's not, again, about you. It's about them. Okay, that's what you're there for, in service to them. So there is one, the purpose, and then this was where Kathy and I decided, I believe, would be the opening scripting to the re-exam. It's really short, okay? So does someone want to read that for me? Someone? Go ahead, Jen.
Hi Jamie, I'm going to do your re-exam today. Okay, I'll be starting with your re-exam. I'll be calling off your findings to the CA. When we are done, I will be adjusting you.
And who has a tech CA? Okay, so a lot of you don't have a tech CA. So for those of you that don't have a tech CA, say the findings out loud. Say, I'm finding subluxation at this level. Whatever it is, whatever the terminology, whatever you're doing, say it out loud. So they hear you say, oh, there's a muscle spasm in this area. There's evidence of a subluxation at L4. Say it out loud. You don't need a tech CA. It's nice to have the tech CA, but you can write down the notes later. But let them hear it. Let them, and if you're doing mirror checks, whatever. Okay, so that's the thing. So what we'd like to do, go ahead, Kat.
Just get next to the person next to you. We don't have time to move around. It's like 5 minutes left. And just each person take the line once and read it to each other. Okay? So
Right.
just those 3 sentences, even if you don't have a tech exam, just to